flat in Barcelona, otherwise known as the short walk from my kitchen to my bedroom, to offer you some live commentary of the first ever hashtag StayAtHomeGP. Up first, we've got 5 minutes worth of qualifying from the iconic Mugello circuit, otherwise known, well, probably as 2 or 3 flying laps within that 5 minutes, so not a lot of time to try and put a good lap together to get a good spot on the grid ahead of the 6th lap race coming up in about 5 or so minutes time. Just a little bit of insider information for you before we went live, just to make sure everybody was connected up properly and everyone's internet was working fine. We did have a cheeky little free practice session. Pecco Bagnaia was fastest in, so let's see if the Pramac racing rider will be able to match that form and that pace once again in this qualifying session. There he is on board with right now, the Pramac racing rider, the only Ducati on the grid, the only Italian on the grid at his home race as well, so quite a bit of pressure on his shoulders for the Motogp sophomore as he makes his way down into turn 1. We've got our first faller in Aleix Espargaro, already crashed out, and I don't think he's even started his first flying lap yet. It's not exactly a great start for the Aprilia rider. Here comes Alex Marquez, is it? I believe it is, yeah, the number 73 of Alex Marquez. In fact, no, it's his older brother, Marc Marquez, making his way on his first flying lap. Here's Maverick Viñales. Already talking to each other there, with Alex Rins just asking if there's going to be any long lap penalties for the race, with Marc Marquez immediately saying no, there's not going to be. Alex Rins replied, "We've got it, boss." And then Aleix saying if there are any penalties, then Marc wouldn't finish the race. So already the mind games are at it between each other, already having digs at each other. Oh, there's a big crash for Pecco. So that flying lap won't count for this one. We're now on board with Fabio Quartararo, the only Petronas Yamaha SRT out there. There he is flicking right now, the double apex right-hander. Mugello's such a super fast and flowing circuit. So important that you try and string a good lap together. One mistake will throw it away here. Here's one of the 2 X-Star Suzuki guys. Oh, Alex Marquez has gone down now as well. I believe we're on board here with the number 42 of Alex Rins, who's in the top right-hand corner of your screen at the moment. Out to the final corner. It looks as though the X-Star Suzuki rider is going to be the first man to post a lap time in this 5-minute qualifying session. How good is it? It's not a bad lap from Alex Rins. I'm sure that will be beaten, and it has done straight away. A 144.9 from Maverick Viñales. Takes top spot as Maverick on the brakes into the first corner, straight into the back of Joan Mir. I think that's going to be a sign of things to come. Here comes Fabio Quartararo now over the line. Where will Fabio go? He goes fastest. A 144.2 from Fabio. A super lap from the young Frenchman. He's almost 7/10 of a second quicker already after just his first flying lap. Well, we're pretty used to seeing that on a MotoGP race on a Saturday. Fabio Quartararo banging in the fast laps and taking pole position. Here's Aleix Espargaro then on board the Aprilia. He's not particularly confident going into this one. Joan Mir there, you might have heard, just saying that Maverick Viñales, muy rapido, very fast is Maverick, according to Joan Mir. He's probably just caught him by surprise. Maverick saying he's not had that much practice going into this one, but he's already setting some good lap times out there. Second quickest at the moment is Maverick, and read through that second sector as well. Looks like he's improving. Another man that's improving is Pecco Bagnaia here. Didn't set a lap time on his first flying lap after a crash, but this time around he's gone red in sector 2 and 3. Is it good enough for pole position? No, good enough for second. He's only a fraction away from Fabio Quartararo, less than a 10th of a second adrift of pole position is the Italian. And now on board with the number 93, the world champion Marc Marquez, on an improving lap time. Doesn't look like it's going to challenge for pole position. Maverick Viñales goes faster once again there, just to try and hold on to that front row start. Here comes Marc Marquez then out to the final corner. Is this going to be good enough for a front row start? He's got just under 1.5 seconds to find if he wants to jump onto the front row, and he finds just half a second, so he remains in 4th place. Here's Alex Marquez, according to Marc, faster than himself. Obviously the younger of the two brothers, so I'm not sure whether that's an advantage in the virtual race. Normally having a little bit more experience helps, but it seems like the kids are going a little bit faster so far in this first hashtag stay at home GP. Here's Fabio Quartararo then, red in the first sector. Just waiting for him to come through the second sector. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him in Joan Mir, who closes the door, and the pair have contact there, and that's definitely going to affect this flying lap from Fabio Quartararo. Again, Joan Mir in the way there. You can see Mir on the bottom of your screen. He's properly getting into this one. Head's going to the left and then to the right, with the controller going with him as well. Fantastic to see Mir well and truly into this hashtag stay at home GP already. It's the pair of them into the final sector now. Let's just see how good they get on through here. So that's Maverick there, not particularly happy with his final flying lap. Iker Lecuona's crashed out. It looks like the young KTM rider is going to hold on to a second row start, although Alex Rins is on a good lap, as is his teammate Miguel Oliveira as well. But let's stay with Fabio Quartararo across the line. It's going to be pole position for the Frenchman. Does he go quicker? Yes, he does. Even faster from the Petronas Yamaha man. Nearly a quarter of a second quicker than Pecco Bagnaia. So it will be the Frenchman Fabio Quartararo to start this very first virtual MotoGP race from pole position. What a great lap from Fabio Quartararo. He's going to be joined on the front row by an Italian on an Italian bike. A good start for Pecco Bagnaia. There's another Yamaha on the front row as well. Maverick Vinales on the factory machine, starting from third on the grid. You can hear the pair of them joking between each other now. Maverick just saying then that he's been working on the race pace, he says. And that was Alex Rins there, just congratulating his teammate Joan Mir, saying great teamwork between the pair of them. They've qualified 7th and 8th. They're only separated by 10th of a second as well, so not a lot between the two Suzuki riders at the moment. So here we go then. This is the grid for the very first hashtag stay at home GP. It'll be Fabio Quartararo on pole position, joined on the front row by Pecco Bagnaia and Maverick Vinales. Alex Marquez and Marc Marquez side by side on row 2, and joined by Iker Lecuona, with Alex Rins, Joan Mir and Miguel Oliveira on row 3 of the grid. And the 10th rider starting from row number 4 will be the Aprilia of Aleix Espargaro.
Va, vamos allá. El diablo. ¿Cómo va?
La primera vuelta es con safety car.
Here we go, the very first MotoGP virtual race is underway at Mugello, and it's a good start from Fabio Quartararo from pole position, but here comes Maverick Vinales on the factory Yamaha. What a start from Vinales, but here comes Quartararo and Alex Marquez trying to get under the inside. It's going to be Alex Marquez to take the lead. There's Quartararo, tugs the front and takes out his teammate for next year, Maverick Vinales. The two Yamahas come together at the first corner, and it's Alex Marquez that gets away at the front, joined by Pecco Bagnaia, who looks to go under the inside. No way through for him there. That's Marc Marquez under all sorts of pressure from Joan Mir. Miguel Oliveira's gone down as well, but it's Bagnaia that's hit the front here in Mugello. Wide though, and Alex Marquez will get back under the inside of him, will they? They're side by side going through the first sector, but it's Alex Marquez, the debutant, that hits the front once again, closely followed by Pecco Bagnaia. Marc Marquez trying to go with these two at the front of the race, but so far it looks like Alex Marquez and Bagnaia have got the pace to try and escape here at Mugello. What a chaotic opening lap. Where is Quartararo now? He's all the way down in 10th place, is he? No, 7th is Quartararo. He's managed to recover. Maverick Vinales, meanwhile, down in 9th. The pair of them started from the front row, but what a disastrous first corner. The pair of them coming together. Quartararo took the front, and he took out Vinales alongside him. What drama. Here comes Quartararo, meanwhile, trying to get under the inside of, is that Iker Lecuona? It is. He's managed to get past two riders there as Quartararo. He means business here. He's trying to make up some lost time, but back comes Iker Lecuona and Alex Rins as well, but Lecuona's gone down in front of them. They've both managed to escape it. Meanwhile, at the front, there goes Bagnaia under the inside of Alex Marquez. What an opening that this has been in Mugello. Here comes Alex Marquez fighting back straight away though. Who will have the power down the straight? Alex Marquez tucks in behind the Ducati as he goes past the start-finish line. 1 lap completed of this hashtag stay-at-home GP, and it's Alex Marquez that leads away, but Bagnaia is harder on the brakes into the opening corner. He's going to run wide though, because there goes Alex Marquez back under the inside, and that's the 2 Suzukis coming together. It looks like it's Joan Mir that's gone down, and Quartararo's crashed again, and then Aleix Espargaro just runs into the back of him. Absolute chaos here at Mugello. Quartararo's crashed out 3 times in the space of a lap now. Meanwhile, back at the front, it looks like it's just about settled down. Alex Marquez leading the way, but Bagnaia is all over his rear wheel. It looks as though he's just lost about 2 or 3 tenths of a second though, as Bagnaia maybe made a mistake somewhere. But it's Marquez, Alex Marquez, that's leading the way. Marc Marquez, meanwhile, has been in no trouble whatsoever as drama has been unfolding behind him. Chaos has been unfolding behind him. He's managed to stay out of it so far and looks as though he's settled into a comfortable 3rd place. Alex Rins is there in 4th. Maverick Vinales starting to recover in 5th now. Joan Mir in 6th, ahead of Iker Lecuona. Fabio Quartararo down in 8th place now, but still ahead of Aleix Espargaro and Miguel Oliveira, who seem to have had crashes themselves.
Yo.
Mira,
yo estoy cogiendo con una KTM.
You can see he's had his teammate Alex Rins going through the kitty litter in front of him. Got it all wrong as Alex Rins there, and it's just going to allow Joan Mir to close in onto the rear wheel of his teammate. Back at the front though, the 2 leaders are across. They've completed lap number 2, and there's just over half a second separating Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. Fastest lap of the race, going the way of Alex Marquez, 1:45.1. We saw that Fabio Quartararo was able to go a second quicker than that in qualifying.
Marca aprende muy rápido,
Sí, esto de que han enchufado hoy la Play no me lo creo.
You can hear them talking to each other there once again. Rins just saying that Mark is learning pretty quickly. He told us at the start of this live virtual race that he only got the game 2 days ago. Well, Alex has just said, goodness gracious me, Marc Marquez doesn't half learn quick on this game. I'm not sure if he believes him that he's only been playing it for a couple of days. Meanwhile, here's Fabio Quartararo. Can he somehow rescue a podium from this position? It looks unlikely now, after 3 crashes in a dramatic opening lap and a bit. All unfolding at that opening corner. Looks as though he was just trying a little bit too hard to get past the likes of Iker Lecuona and Alex Rins. The 3rd of the crashes, the only one that wasn't his fault, was when he got absolutely T-boned by Aleix Espargaro. There's Maverick Vinales, just 1 crash for him so far, and as a result he's just managed to recover quite nicely. Oh, Iker Lecuona's gone down again. So Vinales has got the claws in. He's trying to close in on Marc Marquez ahead of him. If qualifying's anything to go by, he's got the pace, but he's wide and he's down. Vinales makes a mistake. You can see the frustration from the Monster Energy Yamaha rider there. Slaps his controller out of pure fury. Oh, but Marc Marquez has gone down as well. Well, an opening for Maverick Vinales. He might have thought that 3rd place had gone from him, but there he goes, straight past Marc Marquez. The pair of them crash within half a second of each other, and now it's Vinales that takes control in the fight for the final podium place.
¿Cómo giras, tío?
Iker Lecuona, another crash for him. Goodness gracious me, Lecuona's crashing so often. And Rins has even just said it then. Rins almost laughing at him, saying that Lecuona can't stop crashing. And he's not wrong as well. Meanwhile, there's Marc Marquez wide. He was on the rear wheel of Maverick Vinales, trying to put him under some pressure, but looks as though Vinales is just starting to escape now in that fight for 3rd place. Meanwhile, at the front, it's still Alex Marquez leading the way, now 1.1 seconds clear of Pecco Bagnaia. Looks as though a dream debut victory at Mugello is just starting to slip away for Pecco Bagnaia. He's still trying though, is the Italian, seeing if he can try and hold on to the pace of Alex Marquez at the front of this one. Here's Fabio Quartararo down in 6th place. He's got Alex Rins ahead of him. Can he make a move on the Spaniard? Oh, the pair come together once again. Front wheel against rear wheel, the pair of them lucky to stay on.
Tírale, Fabio.
Now here comes Quartararo once again,
Yo,
couldn't get it
compañerito,
job
cabrón.
done
Hombre,
first time
tío, lo que
around,
me ha hecho
but this
tú.
time he manages to
¿Dónde
just
tirado?
squeeze past Alex
No,
Rins, but here
encima,
comes
arriba.
Rins fighting back. Oh my days, that was close.
Alex,
Rins a
tío, que
proper
aquí por
lunge
negro.
under the inside, and the pair just about managed to avoid making contact. That means that Quartararo's up into 5th place now, and I think that was Alex Rins taking the car park route. Oh, Quona again, another crash for the young Spaniard. Been a disastrous first MotoGP race of 2020
Yo me
for
quedo
Red
con
Bull
Alex,
KTM
vale, así
Tech
me-
2
así
rider.
tengo con quien divertirme.
Pero tampoco puedes ir mucho más adelante.
Aleix Espargaro there.
Yo me quedo
Just saying,
contigo.
well, where is Aleix? At least he's down in
Madre
9th.
mía,
It's not
no.
as bad as Iker, he was just saying, Aleix saying that he's really bad, and he was even offering his young son Max, saying if he fancied to go instead of him, thinking he might be a little bit better than what Dad's doing at the moment. And Iker agreed with him, saying he's going to stay with Aleix just to have a bit of fun, because it looks like those down in 9th and 10th, unfortunately, well out of contention now. Well, here we go. This is going to be a real blockbuster clash. We've only got a lap and a half remaining in Mugello. Alex Marquez away with it at the front. Pecco Bagnaia in 2nd. Maverick Viñales in 3rd. But this is a fight that we want to see. To be able to sell out arenas around the world for this fight. Quartararo versus Marquez. It ignited in 2019, but that's a crash for Pecco Bagnaia. It looks like the victory is well out of contention now for Pecco Bagnaia. Meanwhile, Quartararo has made his move on Marc Marquez and he's up to 4th place now. Can the world champion respond to the French sensation? It looks like Quartararo's got the pace to pull away from him. Marquez hasn't been able to respond, which is so unlike Marc Marquez in real life. Normally, as soon as Quartararo made a move on him, bang, there was Marquez making a move right back under the inside. You can see that's Marc Marquez right there, and the gap is already starting to grow, and he's made a mistake there, running wide. It's going to allow Quartararo to escape even further. Oh, Joan Mir's had a crash. He was in contention for 6th place ahead of teammate Alex Rins, but out of the race, and back down to 7th now is Joan Mir. Meanwhile, there is your race leader, Alex Marquez, comfortably in front now after that crash for Pecco Bagnaia. 7 seconds ahead, onto the final lap. He's just got to keep his nerve. And the Spaniard, in his debut MotoGP race, may well take a debut MotoGP victory. Well, sort of, in virtual terms. I'm sure he'll still take it though, starting the season with 25 virtual points. Meanwhile, what battles have we got behind? Pecco Bagnaia does look comfortable despite that crash. Looks like it's going to be a debut MotoGP podium for the Italian as well. Not a bad way to start off the season, especially on home soil here in Mugello. Just a little bit wide on the grass as well. He's still pushing his Pecco. Here are the two Yamahas. Viñales just about clear of Quartararo. I'm sure Quartararo will be pushing to try and take 3rd place away from his teammate for next year. But it looks as though the number 12 Top Gun is just going to have enough in reserve to hold on to it at the moment. You can see Alex Rins just getting some unwanted attention there from one of his dogs. Not what he needs on the final lap, but he's trying to hold on to 6th place. So there's Aleix just saying if he crashed twice, he'll be able to catch it from the corner. It looks like it's going to be a last place finish for Aleix Espargaro, unfortunately. A crash for Miguel Oliveira there as well on the final lap, but he should be able to hold on to 8th place with Oliveira. Meanwhile, into the final corner comes the Repsol Honda rider, Alex Marquez. He exits the final corner in his debut race. It's going to be a debut win for the Moto2 World Champion. He starts life in MotoGP with victory here at Mugello in the first ever hashtag Stay at Home GP. Here comes Pecco Bagnaia across the line to take 2nd, and it's 3rd for Maverick Viñales, despite a superb final lap from Fabio Quartararo on the last lap of the race. Quartararo puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:44.4, putting Viñales under all sorts of pressure. Even Maverick saying there that Fabio needs to be penalised because he made him crash at the first corner. Fabio holding his hands out, saying it wasn't me, it was the game's fault. What an incredible race that was. So much drama. The opening corner, the pole man, Fabio Quartararo, coming together with Maverick Viñales. It allowed Alex Marquez to escape. He eventually got the better of Pecco Bagnaia in a fierce battle for the lead, and it was a comfortable win in the end. So it's Alex Marquez that takes the victory, ahead of Francesco Bagnaia and Maverick Viñales. Fabio Quartararo fourth, having got the better of Marc Marquez in a late dice at Mugello. Sixth place. The battle of the Suzuki's going the way of Alex Rins, just a couple of seconds clear of Joan Mir. Miguel Oliveira and Iker Lecuona in 8th and 9th, and unfortunately the wooden spoon 10th place going the way of Aleix Espargaro. We said earlier in the race it might have been better if his youngest son Max had taken the control away from him. Well, he certainly couldn't have done any worse. Better luck next time to Aleix Espargaro. The victory's gone the way of Alex Marquez.